many of you, even after all of these hours that we spend together on 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 10 or days, it doesn't matter how much time we spend together, what happens with so many of you is you come to the place where you feel all of this, and then you get bogged right back down in the thinking process. And we want you, that's why for a while we called this the science of deliberate creation, but frankly it made you think too much. Oh, it's science, I must think about it. Creation, ooh, creation, deliberate, oh, I must be very deliberate. I must think about that which I'm becoming. And we want to say to you, life just makes you do that. You can't not do that. Everybody does that. Even one-celled organisms do that. In other words, you can't cease but do that. So then, as we saw you worrying so much about what you were thinking, we decided to give it a whole new name. Let's call it the art of allowing. Let's put it into the framework of that which you all are about. Let's figure out ways that you can now allow yourself to be what life has caused you to become. And that's when we really got specific about helping you to understand that the guidance within you, so you feel the guidance within you is alive and active and more available to you the more you use it. So as you care about how you feel, and you gravitate to the thoughts that feel increasingly good, and you get better and better and better results, that's a wonderful thing. But we don't want you to be result oriented. We want you to be how I feel in the moment oriented, because you're never going to come to the end of the results that you're seeking. And when you are looking for results, invariably you become impatient about how fast you're getting there, and then you turn upstream. So if you don't be result oriented, but you still instead be how I feel in the moment oriented, now you're always on your path. So people looking at you from the outside begin to notice that, first of all, you feel better. They can feel that the tension has dissipated within you. And then they begin to notice that they heard you talking about something, and next time they turn around, you're driving it or living in it or owning it or feeling it or living with it. In other words, they begin to notice that your words are translating into the physical equivalent more rapidly than seems fair to them from their vantage point. And then you begin to notice that the having of things becomes less significant, although you can have anything that you want, because the having of things used to fill a void that no longer needs to be filled, because you filled the void up with alignment with who you are. The void was never about needing one more thing to bring home. The void was never about need in a relationship. The void was about the misalignment between you and you. And now you've figured out how to deal with that alignment, and you've understood that that alignment's not like a college degree that once you get it, it's yours forevermore. Your alignment either is or isn't in the moment, and it's always available to you. It's just a thought or two away. Now you begin to understand that life is about living. It's not about buying. Life is about being. It's not about achieving. Life is about the pathway. It's not about the ending place. Life is about the journey. It's not about the destination. Life is about the going. It's not about the getting there. Life is about the living of life, not about the getting to some place that you always wanted to be in life. Life is what you are about, is the eternally unfolding genius that you are, and you never stop unfolding. So you can't get it done. And if getting it done matters, then you're in deep doo-doo, because you can't get it done. So when you relax in that attitude, when instead of, as you come together in a group, trying to figure out how to get this big clump of money so that you can do something with it, you're enjoying being together as a group. Instead of trying to figure out what's the best place to put the money, you just understand that there are endless places to put it, and one place is as good as another, and it doesn't really matter which place it is, because that wasn't the point anyway. The point wasn't to find the most needy place and put your money there. The point was to have a reason for money to flow through you towards something that made you feel good while it was flowing through you. You can't find enough charities to fix. And if you get on that bandwagon, you'll go crazy, because the charities will come out of the woodwork and they'll say, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me, give it to me. And before you know it, you will feel shortage, because not enough money can flow through the vortex called you and your group to satisfy all of those that will be saying, give it to me, give it to me. And then you'll want to say, wait, I don't give it to you because you need it. I give it to you because it felt good to give it to you, but now it doesn't feel so good to give it to you. Jerry and Esther met a wonderful girl in a restaurant in California a while back, and they could tell she was from another country. She had a delightful accent, and as they visited with her, she was from a part of Russia, and they liked her so much. They liked her sweetness. They liked her trying. They liked how much she wanted to do a good job at what she was doing. And so Esther had a purse full of money that she had been carrying around from one of the workshops, and as she was writing the amount for the tip, she said to Jerry, what do you think about just giving her this envelope? And Jerry said, I think it's a good idea. He didn't even ask how much was in it. It didn't matter to either one of them. There was a lot of money in it, thousands of dollars in it. And so the little girl brought the check, and Esther put some money on as a tip because she didn't want her employer to think that the girl had not given them good service. And then Esther just said, we'd like you to have this too. And she said, thank you very much. And she went back into the kitchen, and then they heard dishes breaking. And she comes back to the table, and she is beside herself with appreciation. And then she begins to tell them how much she needed this money. And Esther said, well, in that case, give it back. Teasing. And Esther said, we didn't give this money to you because you need money. We gave this money to you because you just inspired it from us. Your freshness, your aliveness, your happy with lifeness, your looking for where you're going. You just evoked it from us. We don't give it to you because you need it. And later they got an email, and it said, I told my friend this morning that something wonderful was going to happen to me. I didn't know where or when or how or what. I just told my friend I could feel that something wonderful was going to happen to me. And so there that was in her vibration. And there Jerry and Esther are driving around with a purse full of money, trying to decide where they're going to have lunch. Now, they had not decided that they were going to go there for lunch. In fact, they were on their way someplace else for lunch, someplace that they always go, that they love to go, on the water. And as they came around the corner off the freeway entrance, Jerry said, oh, look, there's that place I've been wondering about. What do you think about going there for lunch? And it was such an odd time of the day. There was not even a car in the parking lot. And Esther said, it may not even be open. Esther was sort of wanting to continue the path that they were upon. And Jerry said, I really want to see this place. Let's park and at least check it out. And so Esther said, well, I'll just drive up and you go in and see if there's anybody in there. And if there is, wave me in and I'll come. So Jerry went in. The door was open, and he waved Esther in, and she parked. And in they are. Can you feel how this girl and her alignment it was alignment, her place of expecting something good to happen to her. So the universe knows everything. The universe knows there she is expecting something wonderful to happen, and there is somebody who has the ability to make something wonderful happen, and everybody just gets the right cue at the right time in order to end up in the right place. In other words, don't you think that's a lovely path that you're living on? Don't you think it's a wonderful thing? And don't you understand that it isn't about the result? In other words, it isn't about making something happen. It's just getting in on the joy of the journey. There isn't anything more thrilling to Jerry and Esther than to play a game like that. But that's not a game they play every day. It's not a game they feel an inspiration to play every day. The universe cues you up, and when you are in alignment with who you are, then you get the benefit of those powerful rendezvous, which are the gift of the best of life. In other words, that's the way life is supposed to feel for you. You are creative beings, all doing this dance together, all looking for ways to enhance one another's experience. And when you come into alignment with who you are, the universe, the soul of you, the God of you, the source of you, that knows not only who you are and how you feel, but who everyone else is at the party and how they feel, will cause an impulse within you that, if you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, is easy for you to follow, and off you go. But some of you say, but I'm not always tuned in, tapped in, turned on. I don't always know. I'm not always queued up. How do I know what I'm feeling? And we say, that's what your work is. Your work is to figure out what you're feeling, and from where you are, wherever it is, find the best feeling that you can. And when that is your mantra, and it's the only one you need, today I'm going to look for things to feel good about, and I'm going to do my best to feel as good as I can feel whenever I'm consciously aware that I'm feeling it all. In other words, I'm just going to feel as good as I can feel from where I am. As that is your eternal quest, what happens is you just feel a little better and feel a little better and feel a little better. You feel a little better about this. You feel a little better about this. You feel a little better about money. You feel a little better about your body. You feel a little better about your mate. You feel a little better about your president. You feel a little better about the weather. You feel a little better about your body. You feel a little better about money. You feel a little better about your president. You feel a little better. You feel a little better about this. You feel a little better about that. And before you know it, you feel a little better. 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 And you are no longer now needing to control things, because you can't control them anyway, and you feel better anyway. And the better you feel, the more aware of how you feel you are, and the more aware of how you feel you are, the better you are able to make choices, until before you know it, you're just flowing along, and life is going so good for you, and people are looking at you, and they're wanting to say, because they don't get it maybe, why is your life so good? And you say, well, there's this stream. And I've got this boat. And I used to have these oars. I threw the oars away a long time ago. But I used to get in the stream, and I used to turn it upstream, and I used to paddle really hard, and I used to get really tired and really ornery. Like you could say. And then I realized it wasn't working out for me, and so one day I just let go of the oars, and to my surprise and delight, my boat turned around in the stream. And as I relaxed there, thinking at first, I need more oars and more oarsmen to help me, I began noticing that the ride on this river was pleasant, and that when I relaxed and allowed myself to enjoy, that everything that I'd ever wanted was within easy reach, and my boat in the water took me to it. Odd, you say, that I gave up the struggle that I'd been trained to perfect, and in the moment that I did that, things started getting better. And I didn't ride very long on the river before I came to understand that I never had anything to prove anyway, and my attempt at proving it was what was messing up my life. There was never anything that I was supposed to do anyway, and when I stopped doing it, things got better right away. Turned out I was worthy without the struggle, but I couldn't get the reward until I stopped the struggle. Turned out that I was a good person anyway, and that there wasn't anything that I needed to do to prove that to anyone, because everything that matters to me, everything that is good, already knows my goodness. But it was me not knowing it that was my problem, not God not knowing it. It wasn't that I didn't find a way to prove my goodness to God. God already knew that. It was my letting myself know my goodness that was missing. So now I'm enjoying the ride on the river, you say. And it's a really frolicking good ride, and it takes me to all of the wonderful places of life. And now I've got the hang of it. I realize how many wonderful other people are riding the river, and it is uncanny how the stream causes us to rendezvous and have really good times together. That's nice. What's the time?
We have 12 minutes.
What is left undone? You're done.
Thank you so much.